We often hear about prenuptial agreements and the postnuptial agreement that is also becoming pretty well known. Attorney Brian Cooke is joining us to break down the differences and telling you if it's something you might want to consider. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Sadly, not every marriage is happily ever after. So let's start with the prenup. What is it and who should consider it? What do couples have to agree on?
Prenup is a contract between intended parties, spouses, before their marriage. They generally want to segregate their non-marital assets going into the marriage in the event that the marriage ends in a divorce. They also, in prenups want to address the alimony issue, the alimony component. After a party gets married, then the non-marital asset may be enhanced in value, so the prenup agreement will also address the enhancement factor of the asset.
You really need an attorney to consider all of this. Are you seeing younger people do this?
We're seeing younger people. One of the reasons why younger people are coming to see us is because they're getting married later on and they're accumulating wealth, and they recognize that marriages are frail, and so they want to avoid the divorce issue, so they address the issues in the prenup.
Do you do this if you're not wealthy?
You may do it if you're not wealthy. People, though, don't see it as much and see a lawyer as much in addressing a prenup or a postnup agreement.
You touched on it, but if the money and everything is separate already, or not separate maybe, let's say if your money's not separate, do you need a prenup? Are the rules different?
You should have a prenup going into the marriage if you have wealth, because the reason is that the asset that you bring into the marriage will change during the course of the marriage. If you have a business prior to the marriage, and then the business becomes more substantial after the marriage, the prenup will address what happens to the growth and the enhancement of that asset during the marriage.
We've got less than a minute, but a postnup?
A postnup is an agreement, and by definition it's an agreement that follows the time of the marriage. The postnup agreement often arises where something happens during the marriage. If an individual who's married receives an inheritance is non-marital if you keep it separated, but they want to avoid the issue of it being commingled.
Wow.
So, I mean, some of the things that individuals should consider is that they should have separate attorneys because they want an arm's length transaction. They want it to be full disclosure, financial disclosure, and there should be communication between the parties. Sounds
like you maybe want to talk to an attorney before you get married about these things. But
absolutely. But not only should you talk to an attorney, the spouses or the parties should speak with each other.
Good point. Yeah. Very good point. We're going to talk about alimony next week when you come back next week.
Thank you for having me.
We'll discuss that.